Hello and welcome to your Friday edition of The Nerve. I am your host, Maureen Callahan, and we have a banger of a show for you today. First, RFK Jr.'s third wife, Cheryl Hines, has a new memoir out. It's called Unscripted. I've read some of it, and I will explain why I've read some, not all. I'm sure you can guess. We're going to get into it. She also sat down. We call him William Maher on this podcast. He's more colloquially known as Bill Maher, host of Real Time. She went and sat down with Bill Maher over at Club Random, and the set has changed. I am telling you, the nerve is moving the needle, okay? We've also got some SJP stuff to show you. The nerve is moving the needle. So we're going to share some of the best hits from, he sat with her for 2.5 hours. And I'm going to tell you, based on Cheryl's book and based on other interviews I've seen of her, she's not like a sparkling conversationalist. So we're going to get into it. Then we've got other breaking Kennedy news. This, how do I put it? A lesser light has announced a run for office. And, the Kennedys also refused to get the memo, but, I think the nerve's going to do what the nerve has been put here on God's green earth to do. Okay, then we've got more breaking news about exactly what Meghan and Harry were up to at the Jenner-Kardashian extravaganza over the weekend. And per Rob Shooter's reporting on the nerve with us just the other day, Rob was on the money, and we've got even more details, and these details are so damning. Oh, and we have a we're going to examine a photo that explains it all. And it's I swear to you, there is no other mainstream media outlet, by which I mean the extras, the Access Hollywoods, the Us Weeklies. None of them are going to come at it this way, okay? By which I mean the true, real way. We've got updates on we've got a new offender who, it was only a matter of time before she was going into the woodshed. We're going to get into it. And we've also got your feedback. And Tim, the celebrity makeup artist, is back for our weekly Hate Watch recap. Jennifer Aniston and The Morning Show. So we've got a lot of great stuff. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. As the season changes to colder weather, blood pressure tends to rise due to the constricting of blood vessels, increased salt cravings, and less physical activity. But here is the good news. You have the power to take control with 120 Life. 120 Life is a blend of great tasting superfruit juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure naturally. It is trusted by over 1,000 health professionals and used by people just like you who have seen real measurable results. You can try it yourself risk-free with their 2-week trial. Just go to 120life.com and use code NERVE. That's NERV to save 15%. You can track your progress with a very simple blood pressure monitor and watch those numbers drop. Feel the difference. Plus, it's completely risk-free. If you don't see lower numbers in 2 weeks, you get your money back. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Remember to use code NERVE to save 15%. This is serious. This is your life we're talking about, and 120 Life can help. Don't wait. Take control of your health today. Cheryl Hines is out in these mean streets hawking her memoir. Now, this is a powerful, very competitive season for memoirs, and they are of a single stripe, really. They are women in politics and or political wives. You've got, before Cheryl, Kamala Harris, Karine Jean-Pierre, Michelle Obama, and now it's Cheryl Hines' turn, okay? Cheryl Hines got a book deal because of who she's married to and because her husband had an affair. One that we know of. with the political journalist Olivia Nuzzi, and the both of them have always contended that the affair was digital in nature, which I don't think is the smartest word because digital has dual meanings. You guys know what I'm talking about. And that they never had sex in person, although Olivia has sources who maintain that they would often say at the end of these FaceTime sex sessions that they loved each other. Now, Cheryl, again, this is why she got the book deal. She's supposed to be talking about the affair and how she got through it and all of that stuff, and is not in here, okay? Those of you who are buying this book, you're buying it on a false premise. And as an avid book buyer and reader, and trust me when I tell you, there's few things I love more than a really good, juicy Hollywood memoir or political memoir or biography. When people are selling something that they're not actually providing, nothing makes me crazier, okay? Don't buy this book. And I'll tell you kind of what's in it. But I'll give you a hint of what she's out there selling. Per People magazine, the headline. Oh, and by the way, Olivia is never mentioned by name. And you know who else is in this book? RFK Jr.'s second wife, Mary Richardson Kennedy, who is in Ask Not. Okay, Mary was the wife that RFK Jr. treated so terribly. And when they were separating, he cut off her $20,000 a month court-ordered spousal support and child support. I believe those were the two. He was cutting her off at the knees. She was in debt to like American Express. She would drop off the kids at the school run and have to ask fellow mothers at their very wealthy Westchester enclave if they had $20 she could borrow so she could gas up her car or get something to eat that morning, okay? And then Bobby and Cheryl were out publicly dating, okay? And they moved into a home a stone's throw from the marital home that Mary had shared with Bobby and turned into a Kennedy museum. Cheryl was out tweeting like a 12-year-old. Oh, guess where I'm at? I'm at Armonk's Burgers, you know, with little Aiden Kennedy, who like Mary's kids with Bobby. Like, oh, the food is so good. We're having such a good time. This kid is turning me into like a rabid Red Sox fan. You know, stuff like this that was meant to really fucking kill Mary, like spiritually, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm with your kids and they love me now. I'm the new woman in your husband's life, and I'm taking everything. I'm not only taking your husband, I'm taking your kids. My interpretation. And Mary Richardson wound up killing herself in the family barn. She hanged herself. And it gets worse from there. Okay, so I have zero fucking sympathy for Cheryl Hines, who's out here flogging a memoir about her experience now as a Kennedy wife who, guess what, got cheated on by the same husband who was abominable to the mother of his children. Okay, in case you're wondering what I thought. All right. So now Cheryl goes over to Bill Maher's lair, his den. Now, as I've previously said, that den, like I wouldn't go in there without some luminol spray and a blue light to see what kind of bodily fluids have been emanated those many months, if not years. But in going to look at this most recent episode, guess what, you guys? Guess what? The set has changed. And it's now like in this really, really small corner of the basement. I believe this is Bill's basement, but it's incredibly well lit. Like, you can see in there, you can see, and the chairs are like red, and it looks more like it looks more like, you know, nobody's going to get up to anything sinister. That's how I would put it. Now, Bill never change, okay? Never change. Okay, he walks in. Where do you see when he walks in? Because you're gonna die at the change of the set. Again, I'm gonna give the nerve a little credit here. If Bill's not watching, he's definitely got somebody watching and giving a full report. So let's watch Bill walk in. To his surprise, his guest is waiting right there. Here we go.
And Cheryl, I know, is here.
Hi.
Don't get up.
Okay, I won't get up. I'm all pinned in.
Adore you from here. You look awesome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I try to find
armrest.
Halloween colors because it's right before Halloween. Oh, your book in October, your book already.
So he knocks over her book. Okay, so her book has been placed very carefully on Bill's armrest, and he is meant to either grab the book before he sits down or sit down and then grab the book and hold up the book. Now, this is a little industry trick that unless you're out trying to sell a book, you would never know. When a host, like, I'll just give you my notebook, holds up someone's book, that actually gooses book sales. It's why, and that's how you can tell if a host really likes a guest who's got a book out, because they'll hold up the book multiple times, or they'll show the full screen of the book jacket. But instead, Bill laughs about knocking over the book. I mean, again, it's much more well lit now, but it still feels like very tight confines. You know, like there's no windows in there, and there's no way like a woman's gonna run out very quickly. I'm not saying anything, Bill. You know, I'm just saying. And anyway, so he knocks the book over and he laughs about knocking the book over, and then he leaves it on the floor, which is the equivalent of saying, I don't take your book seriously, and I don't really take you seriously, but I know you're going to give me a lot of clicks and eyeballs because your husband's a very controversial guy. Now, before we get into what passes for the meat of this conversation, we have to be made privy to, again, against our will, more of Bill's sexual peccadillos and what this champion of women's rights in the likes of the Middle East, save for Saudi Arabia, because he had Louis C.K. on a couple of weeks ago, who was going to do the Chop Chop Comedy Festival in Riyadh. And then Bill kind of backtracked on like, yeah, there's a legitimacy to going over to Saudi Arabia. Okay, Bill. So anyway, we all contain multitudes. And for Bill, there's only one color of lingerie that he will not tolerate in the boudoir. Let's go.
I do not like red on women.
You don't?
No. And I've had a number of women over the years. There's been a lot
Try
of
to
years.
impress you with red?
Well, I feel like think men are like a bull.
Yeah.
And if you
It
wear
attracts.
like red, like blood red lingerie, such a turnoff to me.
I did not know that.
Well, why would you?
Well, we've never talked about it until now, but I'm glad to know. I am glad to know. But that's odd.
Oh, he's picked up the book.
But because lingerie stores, it's mostly black and red. No?
Well, no. There's like powder blue. I like those kind of pastel.
Something soothing. Right? Is that what you're saying?
To even out my
your intensity.
Exactly. No, I don't know that that's why, but I just like, I don't like thick, loud clothes on women. Like, I don't like
I'm dying.
leather or...
I'm wearing leather. Awkward.
No. I mean, it looks great on you.
Backtrack. Okay, thank you.
No, it's sort of like...
But like a S&M type of a... No, you like that.
No, I'm just talking about someone who, like, I might be, like, touching during the night.
Oh,
like you're at
you don't
a
need this in the middle of the night.
It's just...
I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
It's just too...
Okay,
that's
enough. That's fine. We're good. So I have several takeaways from that little exchange. Number one, Bill says not only does he not like red on women, and he doesn't understand why women think men like them in red, because Bill, there's a reason red lipstick has forever been a thing. Like that the ancient Egyptians were figuring out ways to make red pigment out of clay and put it on their lips because it signals sexual availability and readiness. You dummy. Secondly, so he says he doesn't like red because, it feels too, I guess, assertive for him. But he uses the phrase blood red, which I find very interesting. So he does not like a menstruating woman. Okay. And he dates women only in that age range. Okay. Number one. And then number two, Cheryl Hines is like, oh, I'm wearing leather. Like, you don't like women in leather. And by the way, there's so many different ways to wear leather that aren't like, like you're a threatening like entity. Like, what about a really beautiful fine leather trench coat or leather boots or, like this guy's got issues. Okay. And anyway, so she says, well, I'm wearing leather pants. And he's like, oh, I'm not saying that. Like, they look great on you. She's like, backtrack. Two things. I think Cheryl Hines at a very early age, this is just a theory. It's a psychological theory. I think she knows how to deal with difficult men. I think she knows how to laugh. And I don't mean knows how. I think her way is a better way to put it of dealing with difficult men is to appease and to laugh off inappropriateness or offensive remarks rather than be like, hey, wait a second, back that up. What are you talking about? Like, I don't like that. Like, did I hear you right? No. This is why she's with Bobby Jr. Secondly, it seems like she's drinking a cocktail there, and Bobby Jr. has been openly in Alcoholics Anonymous for decades and was a hardcore heroin addict. So I wonder how that marriage works, where you've got one person who is in hardcore, reportedly, active recovery, and a spouse who's not sober. I'm not saying she's got a problem. I don't think she does, but I'm just saying, like, that can't be easy. Okay, now back to Bill. I know Cheryl's supposed to be selling a book here, but first we got to talk about Bill's sex life and everything he loves and everything he hates. Bill is going to talk about, he's going to use a phrase he used with Barbara Eden. And, I can only take this as Bill doubling down on what The Nerve had to say about his appalling treatment of the 90-year-old Barbara Eden. And not to worry, we'll revisit it on the Nerve Awards. Here we go.
People who are like fans, and they're like too nervous.
Right.
When you go to have sex,
people he's going to sleep with.
They're just frozen. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's happened more than
His
once.
fans are just too awed by the great Bill Maher in bed.
They're like, I can't believe I'm doing it with
I
Bill
guess
Maher.
so. I guess so.
He says, I guess so.
And then that makes you feel
It's so
weird.
much better to have somebody like, first of all, yes, they like you for you.
Yeah.
And they're not like overwhelmed by the experience.
Yeah.
Which,
Right.
that's not exactly
I
a
like
pussy
it.
wetner being overwhelmed.
There it is. If you have children in the room, cover their ears. Bill said it again. A pussy wetner. He's not, the grammar I'm going to put aside right now. I need to speak directly, and we will have this conversation on a later Nerve. Marlena, I got to get you off Bill Maher. I got to get you off your crush on this guy, okay? He's saying that if you admire him, if you're a fan, you couldn't possibly have a sexual experience with him because you would be just frozen up by his awesomeness and by his greatness. Like, and he hasn't even done anything yet. If you say so, Bill. If you say so. Oh my God, I just lost my brooch. Holy shit. Okay. Next, Bill is going to tell Cheryl what the only two pleasures in life are. Here we go.
There's only two real pleasures in life.
I can't wait.
I think. There's doing
Spaghetti. No.
There's doing what we're doing. Yeah. Just talking, having an awesome time, connecting mentally, like having a couple of drinks, smoking, and there's nothing like mental ping pong.
I agree.
And fucking. Everything else is kind of secondary. I mean, yes.
You're just filling time so you get to do it again.
Well, there's something wonderful about, taking a bath and snuggling up and watching a movie and bowling.
Because it's very intimate because you don't do
dinner
it
with friends, but nothing is as good as this or fucking.
Because it's intimate.
Oh my God.
Because you're truly connecting with somebody.
I've said to people, I hate that I have to decide between kissing you and talking to you.
This is a dark mind. I don't think this guy really likes women. Okay. Why is it an either or proposition? Number two, he doesn't want smart women. He doesn't. If he really wanted to be with a smart woman, he would be with a woman who was accomplished and was somewhere in his age range and, had her own shit going on. He wouldn't be out with like Al Pacino's leftovers. Okay. Thirdly, what was the other thing I was going to say about this? Oh, the only real pleasures in life are having a conversation when you're drunk and high, drinking, smoking weed, whatever, and having sex. So there are no pleasures to be found in creating something or experiencing great works of art or being awed by antiquities when you travel different cultures or spending time with family members or having kids or being around kids and seeing the world through their eyes and like the purity at which they come at the world and like the things that they like. No, Bill's got a very, very myopic, limited, or like reading a great book by a fire on a snowy night. I can name a million things, a dog, a new puppy, like get out. This guy, it's sad. Okay. It's sad over there. It's sad. Now, Bill, we're going to skip over daytime TV. We're going to get right to Bill opining on Doug Emhoff. Now, Dougie Doug, as I like to call him, is Kamala's husband. And Doug, you may recall, I columned on it a lot. I've spoken about it on The Nerve. Megyn Kelly took this guy to the woodshed every chance she got. He smacked a girlfriend at the time, smacked her in the face open-handed outside a gala at Cannes in France, an A-list gala, lots of celebrities there on the red carpet. She was just trying to get their car to come faster. And she made the mistake of talking to a male valet. And Doug didn't like it. He didn't like it. It emasculated him. And he went right over and he smacked this woman so hard in the face that she spun around on very, very high spike heels. Okay. Now, this was not really covered by the media. Bill has some thoughts, and again, this is where like there are aspects of Bill Maher that I enjoy. I enjoy his show often. I really do. I watch Real Time every week. It's why I go hard on Bill, because when he's a disappointment, he's a real disappointment. But here, he's got some stuff to say on Doug Emhoff, and I like it. Okay, here we go.
You mean the almost first gentleman? Did you know him?
No, Doug.
Doug.
Oh,
Emhoff?
Stop, Cheryl. Stop.
Right. I know, I just read the book. I think that is the last name.
Somehow I think Doug Emhoff has heard the words, that sounds right, about him many times in his life. Anyway, Doug Emhoff, who, look, I'm sure is a very nice guy. I don't know why I have to bring this up, but we're talking about it.
He's not a nice guy, Bill, you know it.
He was credibly accused of sexual misfeasance, shall we say, during the campaign.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really? That
I
never
think he means
got on your radar?
malfeasance.
No, there was a
which
lot
is the
of
wrong word
crap on my
anyway.
radar.
Well, that just shows you when the left-wing bubble wants to close the wagons and make you not see it. No, look, I'm not saying he did anything that should have disqualified
He's so drunk.
her
He's slurring
in
his
any way,
words.
but they just did cover it up, and it was very similar to other things that they have blown crazy out of proportion. It seemed
Cheryl
credible.
will not engage.
It was in Cannes. He was on a date. This is before Kamala, and
before
it just
Kamala.
acted like in a
that's
terribly
okay. It was
rude,
before her.
horrible, misogynistic way. And it was just like, no, he's her husband. We don't see that. They did him on Saturday Night Live in sketches, and it was just like, kind of boring, old
sweet
Doug, yeah, sweet Doug. And like that thing was just when they want to
Cheryl's reaching for her cocktail.
A person or an idea,
Situation, yeah.
they take that very seriously.
Cheryl will not be drawn into this conversation. Wonder why. She is married into the most misogynistic political dynasty America has ever seen. I believe that her current husband, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., drove his already extremely emotionally and psychologically fragile wife, who her therapist talked to me for Ask Not, okay? And she told me a lot and it's in the book. And she told me of a session in which Bobby, Cheryl's husband, accompanied his then wife, Mary, to a counseling session more than once. But in one particular counseling session, he turned to Mary's therapist, Dr. Sheena Hankin, and said, you know what I'd like you to do? I'd like you to declare my wife mentally ill. And Dr. Hankin said, I'm not going to do that because your wife isn't mentally ill. Your wife is upset and depressed because she found your sex diaries in which you listed the names of all the women that you've been fucking around with, some of whom happen to be Mary's friends. I'm extrapolating. I've seen those sex diaries, okay? You think Cheryl's going to get into it about a bad boy political spouse who treats women like shit? She comes from a family where they leave them for dead or lobotomize them or rape them. And we're going to get into another Kennedy who's making his fucking debut on stage. And it's not going to go well for him. I can promise him that. Now, as we're talking about Cheryl's first literary endeavor, Bill says that her tits look great. Here we go.
But I'm always an honest person. If your tits look great, I'm going to say your
That's
tits
exactly
look great.
what you said.
If the left is driving me crazy, I'm going to call them out.
know.
If Trump is doing
By the way,
crazy
that's what I
shit,
love
I'm going to
about you.
call him out. But, you know, tits are no exception.
Yeah.
If your tits look great, and they do, I am not going to hide it from the public.
Do you see what I mean about Cheryl Hines being sort of like, I think, a fundamentally broken person? This sleazy creep is sitting there going, you know what? I'm just going to like he's framing it like she should be grateful to him because he's got the cojones to tell it how it is. And hey, if it's the Republicans, he's going to call them out. So he's intellectualizing it, right? Because that's her fear, that she's not smart enough to be in the room with all these like smart guys. Hey, if it's the Republicans doing wrong, I'm going to call them out. If it's the left doing wrong, I'm going to call them out. And if your tits look great, I'm going to have the stones to tell you. And she sits there and she goes, that's what I love about you. Instead of being like, Bill, why the fuck are you sexually objectifying me? I'm married, okay? I may be married to a creep who like sleeps with anything that moves, but hey, that's my burden to bear. Stop talking to me like this. I'm a 60-something-year-old woman. I can't get acting work anymore. I don't have to put up with the casting couch and this shit. She sits there, she takes it. Why is she still married to this guy? He publicly humiliated her with a much younger political journalist. And he apparently didn't even actually have the physical sex to make it worth it. And she's still with him. Okay, finally, because I can never get enough of this admission of Phil's, I do wonder how much the chemicals have sort of like, you know, it contributed to the decrepitude of like the frontal lobe, which I do believe would keep one from making such admissions that are actually humiliating. But again, he thinks that they prove he's a real fucking Lothario. Here we go. Bill masturbates before his show.
They said that I masturbated before the show in the dressing room.
Why did they say that?
Because I did.
I think he still does. Okay. This is a guy who is so in awe of how awesome he is that the only way he can work out that self-love is by jerking off before any given show. And it would track, you know, we will get into this on a future Nerve, probably the awards, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. When Bill does his monologue, and then when he goes and he sits back down at his desk, he is forever taking his hands and fiddling with his belt buckle. And he's really, you can see him trying to keep that hand from going any lower to his member. Okay? It's so strange. I can't believe that not a single network exec ever went to Bill and said, you need to watch this game film and you need to stop doing this. We need to retrain you like the animal you are. Now, on to Jack Schlossberg, JFK's grandson, daughter of Caroline. He has made himself something of a laughingstock on Instagram. He seems to be, how would I put this? I mean, this is a family where, and I'm not making light of it, mental illness runs rampant. And he's like 32 or 34. He's never had a job except as political correspondent for Vogue. And we'll get to some of those contributions. And he has announced his run for Congress from his home state of New York. So Jack went on MSNBC. This was a pre-record. The way they, if you go look at it on YouTube, the header for this clip is "History is watching this moment." Yeah, I'll bet it is. So Jack announced with like a full professional photo shoot on Instagram, and the New York Post did this very clever thing. They did a side by side of Jack Schlossberg on a bike in a suit in the street in New York City and a backwards cap, and it is an exact replica of the way JFK Jr., his uncle, used to roll around New York City, down to the pant leg. I believe it's like the left leg. It's the very specific leg where the pant leg is pushed up so it doesn't get caught in the chain, which, by the way, is something that like kids in like poorer neighborhoods do. Not scions of political dynasties, no matter how problematic. Now, JFK Jr., did he kill his wife and her sister in a wholly avoidable plane crash that may or may not have been a murder-suicide? Yes. Is he the guy we want to mimic for said inaugural run for a major seat? Sure it is. Okay. Now, this kid has problems. Okay. His mother, according to the New York Post, within like hours or maybe a day of him running, or sources close to Caroline. So it's Caroline. Tell the Post, she is, quote, living in fear that her controversial son, he's a failure. Okay, this is a parenting fail. Jack Schlossberg's run. This is a guy who spends all of his free time, which is all this guy's got because he doesn't have a job, roaming through the aisles of like his local CVS and lip syncing to whatever track they're playing through the loudspeaker. Like, this is what this kid is doing with his life, okay? She doesn't want him running for Congress because she's afraid he's a target for violent haters. Listen, this guy, okay. The quote, Caroline has pleaded with Jack not to run, but he seems determined to follow in the political footsteps of his grandfather, President John F. Kennedy Jr. Will Jack be statutorily raping interns in the White House? Will Jack be driving his future wife to a mental institution because she's upset with him for cheating? Will Jack be throwing orgies in the White House pool? Will Jack be possibly involved in, you know what, I could go on. But this is all being framed as though Jack is putting his very life in danger by entering the family business. You know, get out, okay? Caroline herself tried to be handed Hillary Clinton's Senate seat from New York when Hillary ejected that seat to make a run for president. And she's basically went to the governor of New York and was like, give it to me. And he was like, no, go make the media rounds at least. And she tried making the media rounds, and New York tabloids and press and even the New York Times laughed her out of the room because she couldn't string a fucking sentence together, okay? But she thinks this kid is so dangerous with his edgy thoughts and ideas and his provocative nature that like he's gonna get some harm is gonna come to him. Okay, this is the mind we're dealing with. Jack interviewing the aforementioned Doug Emhoff. Doug Emhoff's got more in common with the Kennedys than you might think, but let's hear what Jack's got to ask this guy. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm here with two amazing gentlemen. The second gentleman, Doug, and the original gentleman, Dave. And I invented a game, and I wanted to see if they would play with me.
Go.
It's called Condiment or Sauce. Okay, ketchup.
Condiment.
Food group.
Good point.
Oh.
Sauce. Ranch dressing.
Salad dressing. It's a food. What is it?
No, wrong.
Sauce?
Condiment.
No, it's
barbecue sauce.
It's sauce.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Jack Schlossberg. This is from the election of 2024, so it's a year ago. Chewing gum, smacking gum in his mouth, and asking Doug Emhoff and David Letterman. I have no idea why David Letterman is there. And by the way, of the three of them, Dave Letterman's the smartest. No question. He's a smart guy. Smart guy. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that rapier wit. And only idiot men of a certain age who still lionize the Kennedys would play along goofily like that with that moronic bullshit as if this kid is a star. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, as discussed, I am no fan of RFK Jr., okay? I am not a fan, but I don't believe in mocking people for things that they cannot help. I don't believe, and by the way, it was the Kennedy family, it was Eunice Kennedy who established the Special Olympics because her sister Rosemary was forcibly lobotomized by her father, Jack's great-grandfather, Joe Kennedy Sr., who forcibly lobotomized the beautiful young Rosemary, his daughter. And as I posit and ask not, based on what friends of the family long suspected, they were afraid that Joe Sr. was sexually abusing Rosemary, and that Rosemary, who had learning disabilities and had begun acting out, was about to out that secret. And so, against his wife's wishes, against the mother's wishes, Rose, and against the stated objections of his favorite daughter, Kick, who said, "No, Daddy, that's nothing we want for Rosemary," he went and had Rosemary lobotomized, and she lived the rest of her days out, hidden away in a facility in Wisconsin with the physical and mental capabilities of a 2-year-old. And until Rose Kennedy died, not a single family member knew where she was, let alone was able to visit her. And I cannot imagine a fate worse than that. I think death would have been kinder to Rosemary. And so Eunice founded the Special Olympics to give an outlet to and pay honor to her sister and anyone who lives in a differently abled body. Here's Jack, who would have you believe he's the fucking standard bearer now. Move out of the way. He's the fucking Kennedy to beat. Here he is mocking his uncle's disorder, his speech disorder. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, I'm trying to figure out the right present to get Donald Trump for the inauguration. So I found a really rare animal and killed it, and I'm going to give it to him.
If I'm running against Jack Schlossberg, he's going to put Kennedy in there. Trust me. Okay. It's going to be Jack Kennedy Schlossberg. It's a matter of time. Mark my words. I would just have his Oppo research team, or my Oppo research team, scroll through his Instagram and all of the people he's made fun of and all of the names that he's called people. And, there was a great feature. The New York Post actually ran it. I want to say over the summer, in which, Kennedy family members spoke to the Post and made clear that Caroline and Jack were now persona non grata. Once the stars of the family, the only living direct descendants of Jack and Jackie, they were persona non grata. You know why? Jack is a liability. They think Jack needs serious mental help. They implied that Jack may have a drug and alcohol issue. Their implication, not mine. So, we'll see how this goes. Next up, your feedback, back in a minute. Beam's cyber sale is now open for early access, but only for 48 hours. Nerve listeners get up to 50% off when you go to shopbeam.com/nerve and use code NERVE at checkout. That breaks down to only $1.08 per day to revamp your health routine for the better. Up to 80% of women deal with hormonal imbalances, and it's tough to feel like yourself when your body's completely out of whack. But Glow by Beam has created a women's super powder with 18 powerhouse ingredients. Just mix one 10-calorie packet into your water daily and start feeling great. It's that simple. And like I said off the top, for a limited time, Beam is offering Nerve listeners up to 50% off Glow. Early access to their cyber sale is live and exclusive to you. This price only lasts for the next 48 hours. Just visit shopbeam.com/nerve and use code NERVE at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/nerve. And don't forget to use code NERVE for your exclusive discount of up to 50% off. We are back now. before we get into your feedback, I've got to address this with you. This is, there's been a bunch of stuff going back and forth about why were the photos of Harry and Meghan from Kris Jenner's 70th 007 themed birthday bash scrubbed from the internet, and particularly Kris and Kim's Instagram feeds. And Rob Shooter was right. All of the reporting says that Meghan and Harry or their team got in touch with Kim and with Kris and said, take them down. And according to the Daily Mail, which has the exclusive reporting on this, Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian are fucking furious, and they are outraged because it is completely, once again, they're making enemies everywhere they go. Here, now, the question was why? Why would these two attend a party thrown for the fame whores of all fame whores and not expect to have their photos taken? That is part of the blood oath upon entering Satan's lair, is it not? This is my theory as to why they demanded these photos be taken down. We are going to look at this one, just this one. It's Harry standing in front of Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner's back is to the camera. Meghan is standing in between Harry and Kris. Meghan has her hand awkwardly placed on Kris's back, and she's looking at Kris like, we're friends, right? You like me. Like, I'm a likable person who has friends, right? Like really famous friends who gets invited to stuff like this. Now, she's not looking at Harry, who is, look at his face, okay? Zoom in and look at Harry's face. First of all, he looks drunk. He looks drunk. He looks wasted. His expression is slack. His eyes are glassy, and they're practically bursting out of his head, staring at Kris Jenner's bosom. Okay? He is openly leering at a 70-year-old woman's rack. And I'm being crass here because Harry's crass. And if he did that here, he's done it before. And you know what? It says to the world that Meghan Markle knows she's married to a loser, that Meghan Markle knows she's married to a child. You know, she's married to somebody who can't even pretend to have the decorum, a prince of the blood who is given training like this for situations like this from the moment he was born. But no, this is her oaf. This is her loser. And she's got to dance with the one that brought her. Okay? It's my theory. It's my theory. As your criminal cultural prosecutor, I think I just cracked that case. Okay, now to your feedback, which I have right here. Wait, hang on. Okay, here it is. Okay. Dearest Maureen, this is from, she does not want me to use her name. I am beyond, she's very happy she found the nerve. Okay, now, in the 90s, I worked at a luxury 5-star hotel in Beverly Hills. We were frequented by countless celebrities. Oprah and her boyfriend, in quotes, Stedman, stayed with us in the penthouse suite. While the insufferable Ms. O never graced us with her presence, Stedman did. In my more than 6-year tenure, he was by far the rudest, nastiest guest that ever walked through the doors. Just this troublemaker's report, he literally would bang his closed fist while screaming his demands on the desk. Bad dude. Happier note, the kindest, loveliest, most humble guest that ever graced us with his presence, Walter Cronkite. Maureen, I think you and Rob Shooter missed the main point with Gail not sharing buzz. I would bet that she has an ironclad chastity belt type NDA she signed for Oprah and in anyone in Oprah's circle, such as Stedman. This troublemaker loves the troublemaker community that we're all building here and says love to you, your brother Bill from Brooklyn, producer Marlena, Kinsey, Mark, Tim, Teddy, and everyone at Team Nerve. Maureen, this is regarding Nikki Glaser, whose SNL What Passed for a Monologue, which I found profoundly disturbed. And based on your feedback, you guys 100% agreed with me. If you didn't see it, you can catch it in our most recent Nerve. How disgusting. Yes, Nikki is hugely insecure for sure, but to joke about sex trafficking and child molestation, to bring up one of these is really bad, let alone two beyond tasteless. Gilbert Gottfried once joked about, I'm not going to even say it. I won't even say this. I never saw him the same way. Put that wood chipper on the highest setting. You got it. Hi, Maureen. I never send emails to those I do not know, but here we go. You are my exact opposite, and yet I think we are the same person, only born into different environments with totally opposite backgrounds. I ranch with my husband. She says she is a 65-year-old ranch her, like ranch and then HER, which I think is so cute. Out here in the sandhills of Nebraska, the nearest town is an hour away via dirt road. You, my dear, are my guilty pleasure. I love this. When I check the cows every day on my four-wheeler, I travel through pastures and hills without seeing any signs of civilization. I talk to my cows, greeting them with good morning, girls. Hey, girls, how are you? But now, thanks to the nerve, I greet them with, hello, troublemakers. Hey, Maureen. Okay, the Meghan Markle excuse for having no Remembrance Day poppy, even though her husband, Harry, had one, doesn't even hold water. She is banal and uncreative. How about these excuses? 1, it fell off in the limo. 2, it fell off in the restroom. 3, it fell off on the way to the car. 2, little Lilibet loved it so much and begged to wear mine for Remembrance Day. We only had 2. How could I deny her? But instead she comes up with not readily available in the US. I'm right there with you, troublemaker. Oh, wow. So this is, feel free to publish. I would be so honored. All my best, troublemaker, Jonathan. Dear Maureen, wondering about another close friend of Sarah Jessica Jennifer Aniston's Tig Notaro, who we're going to discuss in the next segment with Tim, the celebrity makeup artist, our Hate Watch. Interesting that she has these close friendships. Anyway, I'm really saddened by the increasingly rapid demise of the morning show. So clearly a star vehicle for Jennifer Aniston, written for her ego, just like Sarah Jessica Parker. And in Just Like That, Rob said it best, Rob Shooter on the Nerve Show, on the Nerve at Night on Wednesday, that the writers write the script around the actors and it's not in service of the story. John Hamm's character. How about this powerful billionaire is ace in every area of his life except Jennifer Aniston's character, the 56-year-old Alex Levy. Our thoughts exactly. We will be getting into it. And finally, good morning, Maureen. I really enjoy watching your show. Thank you. I came across this book cover attached and immediately thought of you. Have you heard of this book? You know, I was just an avid reader as a child and I never came across this as a child. And I'm so grateful to you, troublemaker Angie from Ohio, for introducing it to us. It is the Nancy Drew Mystery Stories. And it is called, we are showing it full screen. I'll hold it up for you. The Mysterious Night We Buried Our Last Fuck. I love you guys. I love you so much. Keep it all coming. Troublemaker art, troublemaker feedback, queries, your nominations for the inaugural Nerve Awards. Email me at Maureen@devilmaycaremedia.com. DM me on Instagram at Maureen Callahan Writer or at The Nerve Show. Remember to subscribe to The Nerve's new Substack. It is thenerveshow.substack.com. Coming up, Tim McKay will be here for our morning show Hate Watch / regular Jennifer Aniston update. See you in a minute. If you have ever read the label on a typical bag of chips, it is a horror show. It's often a science experiment of seed oils, MSG, artificial dyes, mystery ingredients, but luckily there is an alternative. Masa is part of the growing movement to bring back real food. Masa's chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. Not only do these chips avoid the junk, they taste incredible. I love them. Snacking on masa chips is nothing like eating regular chips. With masa, you feel satisfied, light, and energetic with no crash, bloat, or sluggish feeling afterwards. You won't find yourself binging and feeling hungry. Personally, my favorite flavor of masa is the original, but the white, the blue, the lime, the habanero, the churro, they're all also really delicious. If you love masa, then you'll love Vandy Crisps. Vandy, Masa's sister company, makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips I have ever tasted. Okay, Masa's tortilla, Vandy is potato. If you are ready to give Masa or Vandy or both a try, use code Maureen for 25% off your first order at masachips.com or vandycrisps.com, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. And if you prefer shopping in person, Masa and Vandy are now available nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. So stop by and pick up a couple of bags before they're gone. Welcome back. It is time for our weekly morning show Hate Watch with our friend Tim McKay, aka Tim the Celebrity Makeup Artist. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, Maureen. Thank you so much for having me back on The Nerve.
Well, thank you so much for coming back. Now, before we begin, we have to talk a little bit about your experience as a hired makeup artist on the very recent Hallmark movie cruise. And I think you told me this, I didn't even know it. Like, you have to apply to get on the cruise, and the number of applicants who are paying greatly outweigh the number of, it's like applying to a private school, greatly outweigh the number of people who are accepted to join. Can you give me a little bit of that number and then tell us about your experience on the Hallmark movie cruise?
I would love to. I had the best time. It was the Norwegian Joy cruise line, so it was humongous, and they accepted 4,500 people, so 4,500 people on this cruise. I didn't know that 70,000 people applied to it.
That is wild.
Yeah, 70,000 people applied to it. And some of the people that were on this cruise were on it last year. Last year was the first year they did it. So I don't know how they did it. I don't know if you have to just bid, whoever bids the most. I don't know. But they were diehard fans. They had so much fun. I have to tell you, getting in the elevator, because the ship was huge. The makeup room where all the stars got ready were on the 18th floor. It was on the 18th floor.
18th floor.
Yeah,
I've never been on
floor.
a cruise ship like this ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it was amazing. My room, it was actually very nice. As a makeup artist, as the hired help, I was expecting to be down where Jack Dawson was, locked in the Titanic.
You're below deck.
Yeah,
you're in the crew mess. Yeah.
Yeah, I was ready for that. I was oh, totally good. A bunk bed with 14 people in it. Great. And no, it was actually, I had a stateroom with a balcony, and it was beautiful, and it was just amazing. So getting in the elevator to go up to 18 every day to get the stars ready, it was I would just meet a ton of people that were in these elevators, because it was just massive amounts of people all over the place. They had different activities to go to, and little skits that the stars would put on. So I got to work with my client, Jonathan Bennett, who's famously in Mean Girls. He's the Hallmark king now.
Okay.
And Erin Cahill, she's a huge Hallmark star, Ashley Williams, and it was just, everyone was there. It was so much fun. And I should have worn a Nerve t-shirt. I wish I had a t-shirt made that just said The Nerve, just so that anyone could point at it, because I was looking for troublemakers there. I took a picture with a few people that just ran up to me and asked to take photos, so I don't know if it was because they recognized me.
I think they maybe knew you from The Nerve.
That'd be awesome. So I don't know. If anyone watching this was on the Hallmark Christmas cruise, please let me know, because I would love to talk to you about it, because I would love to hear how their experience was. I know, just as working, I worked from 6 a.m. to about 10 p.m. every day.
Wow.
But it was I got to, in my free time, explore the ship. I loved it, and I would just love to hear how anyone else enjoyed it too. So,
yeah, we got actually several troublemakers emailed and DM'd and said, oh my God, we got to hear back from Tim about the Hallmark cruise. We're dying to know what it was like. So I do think there's a crossover. And someday as our little show continues to grow, maybe we'll do a smaller version of a Nerve cruise on a smaller ship.
So much fun.
And you
Absolutely.
would be, both a guest and my makeup artist because no
Every
one
day.
else is getting near me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Tim. So we've got to get into our morning show recap. Now, first, this is uniformly, I believe, anecdotally, probably one of the worst episodes they've ever aired. Now, it not only made no sense, and it was not only beating the viewer over the head with expository dialogue, like, oh, hey, you dummies, like, you don't know what Russia does to journalists. We're going to explain it to you. But none of the character development made any sense as usual, but this was particularly egregious. So first, we're going to look at Reese Witherspoon's character. Ostensibly a journalist who knows what's what, just escaped the clutches of the FBI. For some reason, she's got to go while investigating a domestic scandal involving like water pollution in Ohio. She needs
Something
to
like
go
that.
off to Belarus. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Have you talked to the whistleblower?
Yeah, Sophia's in Belarus.
Did you just say Belarus?
I have to go under the auspices of the network. I need your authority to sign off on it.
Absolutely not. If it were up to me, you wouldn't have a fucking job.
Where's Bradley?
She went to Belarus. I think she's being detained. We know what they do to journalists over there.
Okay, so that's the soap opera clip. So one of my favorite, by which I mean not like most like things that annoy the hell out of me tropes is, you know, that close up that they have to do on it. It began in soap operas really, but now it's like any procedural, like a medical procedural, a Law and Order, like you hear something about a victim or a new development in the case, or like the cancer has spread and it's like a freeze on the doctor or the lawyer, but they have to like freeze their face and the eyes go wide, but they can't move the eye. Like she's in Belarus, she's being detained. And and again, for us idiots in the audience, you know what they do to journalists over there. Yeah, we know.
100%. It does feel like a soap opera, and it's just funny because, like, I don't know if it's the way that the show is storytelling, how it's written, but I just feel like I don't care. Like, I mean, Reese Witherspoon's in Belarus, and I literally wrote like, okay, like I just don't I just don't feel the danger. I just don't feel it at all. Like she's like walking in slow motion with the guards and she's all like disgruntled. I just don't feel any danger. This isn't Game of Thrones. Like we know she's not going to get her head cut off at the end of the season. Like she's going to be just fine. And I don't know. I just feel like it's Alex once again causing problems and just hating the decisions that she makes after the fact once again.
Right. I mean, this show really is in complete service to Jennifer Aniston's ego, because that little bit we showed was one of the more interesting parts of the episode. And that was the recap from last week's episode. So that right away tips you off. Secondly, I love, like, you know, which doesn't happen in the average workplace. Reese Witherspoon storms into Jennifer Aniston's penthouse apartment. Like she'd have to get through layers of security. Jen Aniston's like, "What are you doing here? I didn't even hear you come in." Right? And you know, and Reese Witherspoon goes, "I need to go to Belarus to report on this very important water pollution story, but only under your approval, because only Jennifer Aniston can approve anything." You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, "No." And then so anyway, off Reese goes. Now we have Jennifer Aniston's character reacting to the news that not only is Reese / Bradley is in Belarus, but that they're going to bring trumped up espionage charges against her, which should have exactly been, you know what Jen Aniston's dialogue should be here. That's exactly why I told her not to go. That's what they do. She's a fucking moron. First, she gets like she's an inside source. She's a mole for the feds. We're journalists over. You know what I mean? But anyway,
for a company like the Today Show, like imagine if this was like a journalist from Jenna from like the Today.
Jenna Bush Hager's in Belarus.
Imagine
investigate. Yeah,
she's like, I have to do this. Like, and it's just like only you, Hoda, can sign off on it. Like, I don't know.
That's exactly what it would be like. That's exactly what it would be like. And, you know, somebody would have lots of bracelets jangling, lots of like Taylor Swift friendship bracelets jangling in that case. But
100%.
Anyway, so over here, so I offer this clip to you in particular, Tim, because you are dialed into Jennifer Aniston's acting tics like no other. And we've got some stammering, some some eye widening, and I'm not going to finish the list because it really
Hand to the
it's
face.
too good for you. Some heavy sighs. I hear a lot of Rachel Green. Here we go.
God, what? They're gonna press charges against Bradley.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna fucking throw up. Lying to government officials at a minimum. My friend at the IMF said that they're planning to move her end of day tomorrow. Alex, if that happens...
Yeah, no, and everybody that I've been speaking to in D.C. is saying just what Celine says, which is just let the State Department handle it.
I just started going through the documents Bradley sent over, so we don't know what she found. We don't know what they think she found.
And if Belarus says that this is espionage...
Exactly. I mean, these are the people that dragged an activist off a plane. Okay. Their top ally locked up that Wall Street Journal reporter and threw away the key. If we don't get her back now, she could be locked up for fucking years.
Okay, what are we not thinking of, Chip? Come on. Who are we not thinking of? Who could help? Come on. There's got to be somebody we can call.
Okay, look.
Maybe the villain from last season.
Come on, Ross. I thought we were we weren't on a break. Like this is the level of dramatic acting we can bring to bear in a scene. By the way, two journalists speaking to each other would never have to say, "Oh, you know that Wall Street Journal reporter who they locked up and tossed away." Like anyone who is a journalist knows that reporter's name. It's Evan Gershkovich. Everybody was banging the drum for him to get released. It's not like you would say to a major a major television star, you know that guy? And they threw away the key, and it was like, yeah, because everybody was agitating to get him back. But anyway, I digress. It's just it's ridiculous, insulting dialogue, and the two of them would be brainstorming about how to get her back is insane.
I just think the way they're speaking, it's like, oh my God, Bradley's trapped in Belarus. And she's like, oh no, what do we do? And then he's just like, I don't know, she might be trapped there in jail. And it's like, okay, like, what is this writing? Like, this is just so simple, and it's just like spoon-fed writing, and I don't feel it. Maybe it's because it's daytime. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe I just don't feel the intensity of the scene. Like I just again feel like Bradley is actually just like down the street somewhere. I don't feel like she's trapped in Belarus. I don't know.
Exactly. It's like the contract negotiation isn't going well for Bradley. That's the level of stakes I'm getting.
That's the intensity that I'm feeling from these actors. 100%.
And by the way, didn't Jennifer Aniston just meet with Biden's top people in the episode prior to this to land an exclusive with the president? So doesn't she have like a direct line to the executive office of the White House? Like, why wouldn't she just be like picking up the bat phone and calling them?
Maybe she'll blame her dad. Maybe because her dad made such a mockery that like the administration wants nothing to do with her because of her father.
Oh, you know why? Because her father gave her a complex that she wasn't smart as a 10-year-old, so she doesn't feel smart enough to pick up the phone.
Right. No. That's right. She's trapped. Yeah.
So she's going to use this as an excuse to give John Hamm a booty call. Her billionaire. That she's like on the bubble. She wants to get back with him, but she's feeling a lot of shame around that. So this is what Jennifer Aniston does after being instructed by the head of UBN, the as you said, the mustache twirling Marion Cotillard, who in like the scene before that one, they were like having a top level meeting at like the penthouse office, and Marion Cotillard's like, what story was she investigating? And then she, again, very soap opera staging. Like she turns to the window and she's like
looking away, like so mysterious. Like,
who are your sources on that?
What did she find out? Did she learn who the villain is? Like, I don't know. It's very much like, did
she learn that my family did it and then covered it up and that we're buying UBN to like make sure we can keep poisoning America and covering it up?
Because I came here for one reason only, and that was it. to cover up this whole scandal. And I just knew it because even the way she talks, when she's talking to Corey, she's talking a little bit like this. And I'm just like, I just think it's so funny because I'm like, I don't know if it's Marion Cotillard, but she is a villain. She just looks like a villain. I love her to death, but she's like, Corey. And they try to give her this dual storyline. They want her to get close with Corey so that we can kind of like feel for her. Like she's not just a mustache twirling villain. She also has a heart, and she's also attracted to this total hot mess that is Corey. But yeah, so
like all villains, all female villains, like you could go back to Dynasty and Joan Collins, Veronica and Betty in the Archie comics. The dark-haired, and I've been both. So the dark-haired girl is the villain, and the lighter-haired girl, the blonde girl, Jen Aniston, is the heroine. Although I think the writers are writing her a bit of a villain, she doesn't know it. And then they also put Marion Cotillard in like lots of blacks in case we don't get the message that she's bad. And by the way, have you noticed, because you're a visual person, have you noticed that every character's apartment / office is some sort of shade of green, like dark green?
I have not. I'm usually too focused on their faces. Like that's my thing. Is I just like I'm staring at the makeup, I'm looking at the hair, and I'm trying to listen to the dialogue. And I know I gave Alex a compliment on her clothes last week. I want to say that I hated her outfit this week. I thought it was very matronly. But
I did too. She should not be wearing skirts that are like T-length that hit at the mid-calf.
Yeah.
They cut her off. She is too petite for that. She's not Marion Cotillard. Sorry.
She's not Marion Cotillard. And but I did not notice that the green's in the background. I didn't notice
every
that.
character. So Yanko's apartment, green. Billy Crudup's apartment, green. Jennifer Aniston's living room, green. Mia's apartment, green. I believe Bradley, well, now she stays in that hotel, but it's a shade of green. Like everything is this one shade of green. And I think it's either a budgetary thing or the set designers think that whatever their lighting situation is, it's universally flattering.
Is it maybe it's part of their color palette? And now I want to go back and rewatch every single one so I can catch that, because I know a lot of times in like, say Disney, for example, like green will always mean evil, like will mean villain,
right.
Or like, and the colors that they're using are like, if they use a lot of icy blues, it usually means that the person's really cold. So that's really interesting. I wonder what maybe the different shades of green mean. But on that note, can they get Bradley an apartment already? Why is she still at a hotel? I feel like, hasn't she been in New York long enough, like working on this show long enough where they would just get her an apartment already?
There would be one person tasked with viewing apartments for her, narrowing
What are you
them
doing
down.
at a hotel still? That would be so expensive for the network. Why is the network like shoveling out money at a hotel room for her to stay at this luxury penthouse? Why wouldn't you get her an apartment? Like that makes no sense.
Do you remember though when she did have an apartment in New York and she was like the downtown renegade because she lived in like a repurposed like
of course, yes.
elementary school or something, and her door had like that old school police door with like the the frosted textured glass that knocks.
Yeah, way back whenever season that was. Yeah.
Whatever season. Back when she was a lesbian.
That's right. When the show did that for 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes.
Wrote off that character and we never heard from her again. Yeah.
So now we've got Jennifer Aniston. Okay, so she goes over to John Hamm's billionaire's lair. And again, like she would not be getting an impromptu last minute audience with this guy. He would have his top lieutenant, maybe a lesser lieutenant, but his top lieutenant is played by Tig Notaro. And I find her presence very, and maybe it's supposed to be, but it's very off-putting. Anyway, so here she comes over. And again, the point of this scene is really to goose Jen Aniston's ego, because the takeaway from this is that John Hamm's 56-year-old, devastatingly handsome billionaire is not over this middle-aged mediocrity who got her protege stuck in a communist nation that's going to send her to a gulag and probably visit horrors upon her that she'll never recover from. Let's go.
Bradley is being detained in Belarus.
What?
I know how you feel about her. I do. But Paul, I really need your help.
Well, she's on air talent. I mean, she's way too high profile. They're going to let her go.
They're about to file charges.
What do you want me to do about it?
There's someone you
Alex
know.
Levy.
My question exactly.
Every time I see your highlights, I know the sky's about to fall.
Can you just give us a couple minutes,
Let's
please?
dig.
I'm in between meetings and I have an event tonight. So.
Okay, if I wanted to get in touch with Dmitry Ivanov.
Jesus, Alex.
Or maybe you could talk to him and see if he would be willing to lean on some government official to release her.
You want me to broker a
tonight?
deal with a sanctioned Russian oligarch? Go through the White
let's
House.
commit some more
Or better
felonies.
yet, call your
Commit
friend Celine
treason.
Dion. Her whole family
How about
owns half of
coincidentally
France. She must know someone.
She's deferring to the State Department. Paul,
One second.
trust me, Paul, I hate this. I hate that I have to come here and ask for your help. I really do. I'm very sorry.
As
But
if I
all
were
they keep
Rachel
telling
Green
me
still.
Is that I have to sit tight and be patient and let the professionals handle it. But they're not handling it. And if she gets thrown in prison and stuck there, it's my fault.
You're not the reason she's over there.
Well, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, more or less.
God. I'm sorry. Alex, there's nothing I can do.
A sigh, a hangdog look. By the way, that dialogue was the most realistic dialogue in the whole episode. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. Don't ask me to commit treason. A backdoor, like I'm gonna get thrown in. Like, I mean, this is an outrageous ask by somebody she just dumped last season, and that was the best dialogue, and this episode would have had something going for it had John Hamm kicked her out of the apartment, started bad-mouthing her all over town, telling UBN they had a major liability on their hands, and Bradley did get transferred to a gulag, and she remained off screen, that those horrors would be what we could, like, it's like the Hitchcock thing. Anything you could come up with in your mind is worse than anything they could ever depict.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that his assistant, what's her name again? Teague?
Tignataro. But that's her real name. I don't know what her name is on the show.
When I see her on the show, I feel like she's like a producer of like the actual like show that she's like not supposed to be in it. Like I feel like she always walks onto the set. Like I feel like I don't believe her that she's in the show.
That's so funny.
Like every time I see her, I'm like, wait, oops, are you not supposed to be in the show? Or like, are you an executive like of the morning show? No,
that's
but yeah,
so funny.
But no wonder why she like blew it up for him and called Marion Cotillard and ruined the whole thing, because I'm like, yeah, this is her client. Well, yeah, her boss, and she doesn't want him to blow up his whole career with this deal that is trying to happen last minute.
Yes, towards the end of the episode, that's the big soap opera reveal. Like Tig, despite her boss's express orders, has it's almost the trope of the beleaguered secretary who's kind of mousy, who really has it bad for her hot, really dashing boss, but she doesn't have a shot with him, but she'll like sacrifice herself and go against his because she loves him more than she even loves herself. Except this time it doesn't work because they've clearly cast like a lesbian, like a very butch lesbian. So it's not like she's got like a romantic thing for him. So why would she do that?
Right? Is it just to save her career, or does she owe something to Marion Cotillard? Because like, it's just, of course, like I love the conversation at the end. It's like, thank you so much for handling that. Like I don't know, it was very villain. It was very like Disney villain at the end, and I kind of loved it, but I also, it just doesn't feel real. And yeah.
What did you make of the? This to me felt very shoehorned in. Like, okay, we have a very boring, and again, instead of going to the writer's room and saying, guys, you wrote a series of really boring scenes that are supposed to be the most high stakes of the episode, which is John Hamm's character coming around because he can't get over Alex Levy, so he's going to risk his entire fortune and reputation and his very freedom to get this done for her. So instead of saying rewrite, they just put them at the opera in New York so that it feels. I mean, is there a more cliched trope than cutting to an opera singer hitting like octaves up here to tell us it's high drama, high stakes?
Yes. Oh no, it's so true. It's like either like someone's dancing and it speeds up, or someone's singing and it's getting louder, and like it's supposed to be the tension. I just think it's funny that like at a big high profile event like this, like they have time to negotiate this whole deal, and like it's like what, in the 10-minute intermission, and I just think it's so silly. I'm like, it did feel very movie-esque and very like, ooh, at the event, that's where it all has to go down tonight. That's where it has to work. And
a 10-minute intermission during which they're doing this like out in the open, right? So for example, Jennifer Aniston, she would be approached by sophisticated but nonetheless fans who'd be like, can we get a selfie?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to backdoor this like, treasonous deal over here to free a hack journalist who's probably still a mole for the feds. I don't know what I'm doing. And then and here's something else I would like to say about the casting of this billionaire, okay? Name me a billionaire in America who, again, we have issues with John Hamm here at the Nerve. Goes to episode 1. And he's undeniably handsome. He's undeniably fucking movie star, good looking, like we don't have these kind of billionaires. We've got Elon Musk, we've got Jeff Bezos, we've got Mark Zuckerberg. These are not hot guys. I think this would have been a much more interesting show and casting and like conflict and stuff if it was like he was kind of Bezos-ish, right? If they kind of went like Mike Myers in Austin Powers, make him bald, make him a little incel-y, make him short.
A little autistic, a little
little autistic, a little buffed up on like some steroids. And then Jennifer Aniston has to have the like, am I going to really sleep with this guy? Am I really going to do it?
There you go. That makes way more sense.
Now we're talking stakes, right?
Yeah, not just like this like hot super billionaire who's the villain bad boy, and then he actually wants to change his whole life and all his morals because he likes you so much. And then they even mentioned that like that random character is like, I think it was Dimitri or whatever. He's like, hey, where's the girlfriend that you have? And of course John's like, oh, well, there is no girlfriend, and has a close up on Jennifer Aniston. Maybe that could be me again. Like it's very soap opera.
Let me get him over into the coat check where there's conveniently nobody manning the coat check where people have checked like $40,000 for coats.
Yeah,
no.
and you know she's thinking about getting back together with him while she's there trying to save Bradley. She's also secretly like, oh damn, he's single.
That's the whole, now that the whole priority level has shifted of this Mission Impossible. Is getting him back in the sack and getting a ring on that finger.
She's like, what are we talking about again? Oh yeah, sorry, Bradley.
Yeah, that loser. Whatever, man.
I think she's in Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
She wanted to go.
I need. Yeah, no, but Tim, we have to prep ourselves and we have to. Okay. Okay, so here's my other thing. Here's my other thing with that. If this were my writer's room and I made the billionaire like a sort of Bezos-y kind of character, I would definitely have a moment where I would have the Jennifer Aniston character either walk into his private bathroom on the other wing of the house or somehow find, like we would either be finding strips that have body hair and realizing that he's waxing his entire body, or like the appointment of the professional groomer coming to the house to wax like there would be a reckoning of like, am I really with a man? Like, what am I with here? You know, like, am I with like a neuter incel who's waxing every single and tweezing? You know what I mean?
Something,
like those
right?
guys they present as like half human, half android.
Well, because
that's where they're going.
They became billionaires because they're so smart. And if you're that smart, you can't be vain as well. I feel like when you're that smart, you're not like, let me see how muscular I can get and how hot I can get.
But they are. Like Elon Musk has had a ton of plastic surgery. Google Elon Musk before, like chin implant and hair transplant. And Mark Zuckerberg has definitely had work. Jeff Bezos has transformed himself. I mean, I kind of feel
I had no idea. Well, I don't know. I guess it helped because I can't imagine what they looked like before then. I don't know.
Oh, you've got to Go Google Jeff Bezos back in the very early days of Amazon when he was with his first wife. Oh, but the other thing I want to say is I would also make this billionaire character like the guy who's trying to hack himself into eternal life. You know, like she should be
Oh yeah.
Like competing for attention. Like, wait, where is he? And he would have like an army of assistants being like, he's in the cryo chamber. Like nobody's allowed in.
His
like
clone,
we're adding
his clone
an extra 3 minutes.
Yes, like he also has a clone that's developing like in a tank nearby. That's like him slowly, and he's trying to get his consciousness into that clone.
Yes, and also like Tom Brady, like she encounters what she thinks was like his dead dog, and she's like, wait, what's going on? It's like, oh, I cloned it. We arrived yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's 2.0. Yeah.
Let's get some real billionaire weird shit going on in here.
No, it's because
they're
like, oh, AI is popular right now, so let's just keep throwing around the word AI in every episode. Let's just
God, that reminds me, Tim, when she said, you know what we should do to John Hamm? You know, and again, like a billionaire wouldn't be like with a dummy like this unless she was like 16 and looked like Emily Ratajkowski, okay? Oh, you know what we should do, John Hamm? We should pirate UBN's proprietary AI, dupe it, and give it to Belarus.
Yeah. That's it. Like, it isn't what he's been working on for I mean, again, this I'm only partially understanding, but like, isn't it like his big company that he's been working on? What does she want to do? She wants to acquire it under UBN and then sell it to Russia?
Was that it?
Was that it? Because I was trying to follow along with it. And I was like,
I don't know.
I was like, wait, what does she want to do? Like, again, this is all happening in her mind at like in this 10-minute intermission. And I'm like, what do you? Like, and then all these phone calls happen, and somehow it works until, of course, the assistant sabotages it. But again, I'm like, how are all these things happening so quickly? Like at nighttime in New York City, I just don't know.
You know, finer minds, Tim, than ours, I think, would have to hack it. But again, like, not to like toot our own horns, but I think if they're clearly going to pick the morning show up for another season.
Yes.
And I think that hire writers like us. We have a million better ideas.
Oh my God. I feel like
a million better ideas.
Walking to the train station, I'll like have more drama than I will watching an episode of the morning show. I would love to be a writer with you, Maureen, and I think that we would make a much better show.
I do too. And you know what I would also love to do? I would definitely stunt cast with greats and lesser lights of yesteryear. Like, I would figure out a way to get Hoda Kotb in there.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
Right?
No, yeah, absolutely. And just play herself.
Yeah, like I would figure out a way to get Gayle King in there, you know?
Oh
like,
God.
you know, like a revisit like Reese Witherspoon's astronaut thing with John Hamm's Billionaire, you know? Like, there's a million things you could do.
Something. I next season will probably focus on what? Trump, you think? Like Trump winning the election and
Will they go anywhere near it? I don't know, because again, like if they had any guts whatsoever, the scandal surrounding the season, you wouldn't see protesters in the streets of New York agitating over some like environmental boring bullshit. It would be like it would be pro-Hamas protesters. That's what really has been going on in New York. How about we get with it?
Touch that.
No, why would they touch that? Why would they touch a live wire like that and make their show interesting?
Oh,
no
100%.
idea.
Yeah. Nope, not gonna happen.
Tim, as always, it's been so great going over the morning show with you, and I look forward to our recap next week.
I think it's the finale next week. Is next week the finale?
Say it isn't so.
I think it's episode 10. I think it's the finale. So you know that everything, all these amazing plot points are going to boil to a head.
Well, you know what? I should have guessed the way that this episode really just built to a level of steam where you just thought this baby's going to explode.
Yeah, it built to a fart. It was about that.
All right. Well, yeah, get in gear. We'll both be taking notes, and we will be back here to finalize this hate watch for the
I'll be here.
troublemakers.
I'm gonna be here from Belarus. I think I might go there to report on it.
All right. Just know that there's nothing I can do to get you back if things go sideways.
Well, I need you to sign off on me going in the first place. So.
Oh, because I'm the only one who has the authority to do so.
Yeah.
All right. Bully me into it. I can blame you later.
Sounds great, Maureen. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Well, bye.
Bye. And to wrap up that segment, let's just look at Jennifer Aniston's multiple facial expressions on any given episode of The Morning Show. We are meant to be in various ways communicating confusion, distress, concern. I mean, these are the same facial expressions, one after the other. This is a problem. Her face can barely move. I couldn't tell you what is going on in any given scene inside of her head based on, like, her eyebrows can raise maybe a few millimeters, per Dr. Jessica Weiser, who showed up on The Nerve earlier this week. If you want to go find out what really works and what really doesn't, and check out Dr. Weiser. Anyway, we are going to wrap up today's episode with your moment of Nirvana, and this is Billy Bob Thornton, who is making the rounds promoting Landman. And I've really come to love. I never really had much of an opinion on Billy Bob before, but during this media tour, I've come to love this guy. I just saw him the other day on on Kelly and Mark. And they were like, so Billy Bob, like, you're in New York now. Like, do you love New York? And he's like, you know, I don't really love to go out. Like, I kind of like to just like hang out at the hotel bar. And they're like, oh, really? What do you do there? He's like, I drink like light beer because I can't really drink hard liquor anymore. It really did a number on me. And they're like, oh yeah, so what do you do? And he's like, well, I'll drink like 30 of them. I love this guy. I love him. Okay, anyway, here he is on Joe Rogan about what he thinks celebrities should and should not be opining upon. Take it away, Billy Bob.
But there's something about having heroes that are unattainable for you. That way they can stay in that magic spot. So I think we've lost magic and mystery and all these things.
Well, it certainly happens when you hear actors talk about politics. Mm-hmm. When actors become activists, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Oy. Oy.
I donate to a lot of charities, mainly children's stuff, but nobody knows it. I don't go to the award show and talk about it when I'm getting my award. It's like Ricky Gervais said in that skit of his, he said, look, come up here, accept your little award, and fuck off.
Yeah.
Finally, as I always say, celebrity on celebrity violence. It's very rare, but Billy Bob joins forces with my beloved Ricky Gervais to say, hey, to my fellow actors and musicians, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. As we just saw with Jennifer Lawrence, who told the New York Times Magazine, now that movies are dying, she's gotten the memo. The public doesn't want to hear from people like me getting paid millions of dollars for movies nobody's going to see, how they should vote. And not for nothing, Jennifer Lawrence, she dropped out of school at age 14 so she could become an actress, okay? That does it. That does it for our Friday edition of The Nerve. Come back and see us tomorrow for the mini that drops on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern. Remember, for the time being, the minis only live on YouTube. If you haven't already, check out our Substack at thenerveshow.substack.com. Be sure to subscribe. It's only $5 a month. It's a total party over there, and you're helping the show grow. Plus, Nerve merch. Grab something for yourself or pick something up for a fellow troublemaker or someone you'd like to have come over and cause some trouble on our side of the street at shopthenerve.com. Also, The Nerve is now available on Megan's podcast playlist every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 111, the Megyn Kelly channel. See you tomorrow for the mini, and then again next week, right here at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next.